Hello friends and welcome back. Welcome internet. Today's a very special day because not only is it a very spooky day, it's Friday the 13th of October, but it's also the day that I have prepared to share with you my special effects professional special effects makeup kit. So if you're interested to know what is inside my special effects makeup kit and get a few tips of your own to add a couple of things to your special effects makeup kit, then keep on watching. I've got a lot of great stuff. This is going to be a long video, so grab a snack, grab whatever you need. I'm going to have myself a beer. I hope you don't mind. Yeah, get yourself comfortable. There's lots of cool stuff to go over. There's going to be lots of stuff. I'm actually not sure how I'm going to cover it all. I'm going to try to make it a little bit cohesive for you guys. I think I'm going to go through it with stuff that I learned to use first, and then like stuff I added to my kit progressively. Okay, so if you guys are interested to see what I have in my special effects makeup kit for Halloween, how to do some Halloween stuff, some special things you could use for your special effects makeup kit, then keep on watching. I think the first thing we're going to talk about is, for me at least, the first thing that really got me into special effects makeup that I learned about as I was entering this world was probably liquid latex. And I've actually had people like talk to me about liquid latex and ask me my recommendations, like as to what are the best brands. It actually kind of depends. You can get this stuff from Spirit. I have this giant bottle from Spirit. Most liquid latexes function in a similar way. There's some that perform a little bit better than others, and I've actually tried a few brands of liquid latex. The Halloween shop from Spirit certainly does the job. I actually have this giant jug. This is just the flesh tone, but I also have a couple of little jars of them in different colors. I've got this black one, this flesh toned one, this red one, and also this just plain old white one. These are all liquid latex from Spirit, and these are great to practice. Say you're not really sure if you're interested in just hitting the ground running with special effects, you want to give it a shot first, definitely, go to Spirit and pick up a bunch of stuff. Especially, soon Halloween will be over and Spirit will be having a sale on everything. That's how I got all my Spirit stuff. Like, I actually went to Spirit after Halloween and they were discounting everything, and I picked up a bunch of stuff, including all those liquid latexes that I showed you. And you can use liquid latex to, say, make wounds, make wrinkly flesh or decayed flesh, or just textured flesh. And you can also make molds with this stuff too, which is essential. You'll also need some sort of surface to work with your special effects. It could be one of these cheapo art palettes from the art store. As you can see, there's a couple little dried up liquid latex pieces in here, and you can pull these out once they're dry. These have actually been here for years because I haven't used this palette, but you can just cut these up and make fake little skin pieces out of them. You can actually lay them out on a piece of parchment paper, so you can have a big flat piece of liquid latex, and you can make that into, say, like tentacles on your face or something like that. But a palette that I would actually recommend was just one of these metal palettes. Something like this, or something like this. And you can just mix up different things on these. People have asked me what are the best liquid latex brands. I'm going to take off my glasses because they have a glare. And that actually kind of is up in the air. I've tried Mayron, which I found to be a little bit too liquidy. These are okay, but they're very liquidy. I like to use them better for molds and stuff rather than like on the face wounds, building them up on the face. But I've tried the Mayron, I've tried the Kryolan, which I both found to be a little bit watery. My favorite, I think, is the Ben Nye liquid latex. I have this bigger bottle, and I also have this smaller bottle. And they also come in a big old jug like this, which I've had before, but mine got thrown away, sadly, when I was in art school, and they cleaned out my studio without me knowing, and they threw away all my crap, including my giant jug of Ben Nye Liquid Latex. It was very sad. And I also got this bottle of Liquid Latex from Jourdain. I don't know if I've tried this, actually. I feel like it might, if I did try it, it's probably exactly the same as the Ben Nye. Both really great. Another fun thing in the liquid latex realm is this stuff called zombie skin, which just is a liquid latex that already has a certain type of texture, which is great for making zombie skin. See, my little jar is actually kind of dried out. I'm trying to swatch it in my hand, but it just keeps peeling up on me. But I also have a bigger jar. They come in different sizes, zombie skin. And this is just a liquid latex that has some stuff in it. Mine's all sealed up, so I think I'm just going to hold off on opening that because it does have a shelf life. Not sure of how long, but this particular product has dried up on me. It's mostly gone. I don't know if you can see. I used a whole lot of it, but it does dry up eventually. It doesn't have a forever shelf life, so keep that into consideration. In the realm of building up wounds, like liquid latex can be used to make cuts and bruises. I think you'll need in your kit some tissues. I like to keep just like a little pocket pack because they're just small and easy to pack. And also just some cotton balls. And what you do is you lay down a layer of latex and you build it up with either tissue or cotton on each side and cover it up with some more liquid latex, and that creates a wound. There's plenty of videos on YouTube about this. Perhaps I'll make one of my own. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see me make some basic wound tutorials. And it also would be helpful to have some disposable cosmetic wedges like this. You can actually use these to make wounds, but you can also cut them up and make them into horns. When I was working as a special effects makeup artist at Six Flags, we actually cut these up into horns because there was lots of like demon scenes. These were great for that, but these are also great to have for applying liquid latex because the problem with liquid latex is that it ruins your brushes. So you want something disposable to apply it with. So these are great for that. Another one of my first products that I learned to create effects with as like a out-of-kit prosthetic was probably gelatin. This is actually just a unmixed bag. But what this is, it's the same stuff that you would use to, say, make like a jello mold. But this is unflavored. It doesn't have any colors in it or anything like that. If you just add hot water to this and just mix it up, you can just start building stuff up on your face. Different effects. There's a couple problems with this because it is not archival at all. It's a perishable product. It lasts a good while. It will last all night, but it does go bad. You can't reuse this product. But what you can do is you can use it in this powder form, or you can also cook it all together and also add some glycerin and sorbitol to make it a little bit more archival, make it last longer without going bad, because it can grow mold on it because it is a food product. Mix it all up together and put it into a mold and cut it up into cubes so that you can remelt. If you didn't know, you can remelt Jello in the microwave, but only the microwave works. Actually, I think like a crock pot might work too. So this is something to consider if you're still practicing, if you want to expand your wound creating territory from liquid latex onto another form. The third way that you can make wounds is by using a silicone compound. I prefer third degree. I have this smaller two-part system. And this is a bigger one right here. Here's a smaller one. Here's the bigger one. And how this works is that it comes in 2 little jars, and you scoop out with a spatula equal parts and you mix them together, and you can sculpt wounds right onto the face that are very realistic. And you can even mix foundations into them just to get them to match your client, but they're also pretty translucent, so they are likely to match. And you can also buy them in different shades. These are both of these are light. And they're really great and they're really realistic. And you can paint on them with almost any medium. The only downsides is that they're pretty pricey. These are the 2-ounce jars. These are 4-ounce jars. Another silicone product that is very similar to 3rd Degree is a product called Skin Tight. I have one that's in this kind of kit. It comes in this kit. And it's very similar. It works completely kind of the same way. It's a 2-part system, part A and part B, and you mix equal parts. You can't cross-contaminate them, because if you cross-contaminate them, it will ruin them. Skin Tight also comes with a 3rd part called Trivex, and this is kind of like a thickening agent. But that's not really necessary. You don't have to use this part, just you need to use these 2 parts. My Skin Tight system also came with some paints that you can mix right into the silicone before you apply it. So it can be the color that you want it to be. You can either make it a flesh tone, or you can make it like, blood toned. And there's also some primary colors in there, so say you wanted to make like an alien prosthetic, you can make it green or whatever. And this little kit also comes with some tongue depressors, some of those, because it's important that you don't cross-contaminate them, so you might want to use a different tongue depressor for each, but these come in very convenient little squeezy bottles, so you don't have to worry about that. You'd have to worry about cross-contaminating them in the jars more so, because you have to dip into each jar. But a 3rd thing that comes in the Skin Tight kit that's pretty cool is that it comes with like little fake pieces of faux glass that you can say have like really sick looking like fake glass wounds, and you can stick some pieces of fake glass. It also comes with some little mixing cups, disposable mixing cups. I still keep them. As you can see, there's some junk on there. Oopsie! And this is from the company Smooth On. That's another piece of fake glass. In case a couple of your prosthetic appliances can't come unglued, you might want to have a couple extra backup adhesives. You can use Liquid Latex as an adhesive, but it might be handy to have some spirit gum, which I have in my kit. And you need spirit gum remover to take off spirit gum. Or you could also use some Pros Aid, and I have some Pros Aid right here. It's a very great, like, strong, all-purpose adhesive. I also have it in like a little tube like this. These are both Pros Aid. And Pros Aid is great because it's also non-latex, so if you have a client that's like allergic to latex, it's good to have some of that. Another thing for latex that might be helpful to have is some castor seal. This is just great to have in case you paint a lot of latex appliances, either foam latex, especially foam latex, but just liquid latex too after it's dry. You just lay a layer of this stuff on and you can paint it once it's dry. So that's cool to have. The next category of stuff that's like essential for your kit, that is probably one of the most fun categories, is probably blood. And there's lots and lots of fake bloods out there. You can make your own fake blood using corn syrup and food coloring. That's how they used to do it in the movies. But there's lots of other fun stuff now too. You can buy stuff from the costume shop. I've got like this stuff called Bloody Scab from Spirit Halloween. And this is great because it's a thicker, darker blood. So you can kind of, it doesn't drip, so you don't have to worry about making a mess, and you can just kind of scoop it out and put it where you need it to be, and it's nice and dark. But it's also fun to have blood in a sprayer. Just kind of like, say you have a giant costume that you need to distress, and you can just kind of spray it all over and just go like this over the face, and that's a super fast makeup look for you there. If you wanted to go a little bit to the next level, I also have some Mehron Stage Blood, which is a great blood, but I do admit that it does kind of look fake sometimes. It does look like corn syrup with food coloring, but I think that's what it is, because it also claims that it's edible. So that's great, because if you're a vampire, you can put it right in your mouth, and that's very disturbing and creepy to see blood in somebody's mouth. And I don't know if this is the stuff that's minty. I know there's like fake blood out there that's minty. It smells kind of nice. It smells like sugar. Probably because it's mostly corn syrup. But Mehron Stage Blood, that's really great. I have this little kit of different Mehron bloods. One of them's Kryolan. There's Mehron Squirt Blood, which is great for squirting. This is Mehron Coagulated Blood, which is like a really kind of thick, like goopy blood. It's still pretty clear looking and translucent, but it's like a in-between stage between the stage blood and the scab blood, the really thick stuff. Still a little bit runny. It's like a juicy scab. Yeah, the thing about special effects makeup is that you have to kind of get gross sometimes. It's like a juicy scab. It's a great in-between blood. I have, this is like a smaller little container of the stage blood from Mehron. And I also have a vial of Kryolan Eye Blood. And that's exactly what it sounds like. It's a blood that you drop her right into your eyeballs, and it makes your eyes look bloody. It's a fun effect for taking photos, and it helps you avoid the trouble of getting some expensive and dangerous contacts. If you're just looking to take some quick, cool photos, you can use some Kryolan Eye Blood. This is great for like short films too. So now we're getting into some of the high tier, some of my favorite bloods. Favorite brands for blood is Ben Nye. This is Ben Nye Thick Blood. Just like the fresh scab, or the bloody scab from Spirit, this is very similar to this, but this is just a little bit more high quality, looks a little bit more realistic. This looks a little bit more corn syrupy, but they both totally get the job done. This is a very good dupe for this, I would definitely say. But this is a little bit more high quality. I have a very big jar. They come in much smaller jars than this, but you know, I use them a ton. So I've got a big one. But my favorite blood that's like thick of all time is the Ben Nye Fresh Scab. This is great because it's very dark and it doesn't run and you can sculpt with it. But not only that, but it also has a top layer that dries like a scab, and you can puncture it and get it to be juicy again like a scab. The thick blood is very similar, but it doesn't have that drying element to it. It's not quite as scabby. It stays red and juicy, right? Whereas this kind of turns into a scab. I have a bigger jar of this stuff because it's my favorite. I also absolutely love the bloods by Fleet Street. They make really great fake blood. I've got the Drying Blood Dark, and I also have the Drying Blood Fresh. I kind of prefer the fresh, but they're both great because they're much more realistic than the stage blood, first of all, because As they dry, they get a little bit brown, but they stay red, which is great for effects. And if you wanted to have like a matted blood effect, these are perfect for that too. So say you just wanted to like have a splatter of blood that kind of looks old, like it was there for all day. These are the ideal bloods for that. To apply all this stuff, you're gonna have to have some tools. I think every day of your life when doing special effects, you're gonna wish you had these. These are just stipple sponges. They're great for making a stipple effect with blood and just skin texture, because when you use third degree, it mimics the appearance of skin, but it's very, very smooth. So you're gonna need something to create some texture in there. You can either take one of these disposable cosmetic wedges and like make some little holes into them. Just like cut it up and make it a textured situation. Or you can use a stipple sponge and you can bypass the whole process of like cutting up this little sponge. This is very essential for many things in special effects. You'll also need a number of sculpting tools. One of the first ones that I used in my special effects makeup kit were just tongue depressors. You can use them like this, or you can break them in half and make them into little shards. Just be careful not to cut anybody and hurt anybody. But I started off with those. Or you can use like artist spatulas, or you can also use makeup artist spatulas. I have a couple of these. Or you can buy like a dental tool kit, which I hear a lot of special effects makeup artists use. And I also have a like Potter's sculpting kit. I haven't used this yet. It's still in the packaging, but this is very helpful too. I also have in my particular kit a couple of like cheap little fake wounds you can just kind of like slap on with some spirit gum. I have also something like this. It's been a long day. Yes. Best brown nail. It's a pretty good brown nail. I don't know if it's the best. Another sculpting medium that a lot of makeup artists have in their kit, special effects makeup artists, is modeling wax, or commonly referred to as Morticians Wax. And all it is well, it's a sculpting wax. I actually used more than I thought I did of this. It's very realistic oftentimes, but extremely difficult to work with. It's very sticky. You have to put like either petroleum jelly, I also keep petroleum jelly in my kit, on your fingers and on your tools in order to work with it, or you can use makeup remover as well. But it's often one of the most realistic mediums to use. Another modeling medium I briefly want to mention that I don't see any other makeup artists mention in their special effects makeup kits is this mud pack mask. A really unconventional way to make prosthetics, but I learned how to use this in the makeup room at Six Flags. What you do is you lay down a layer of liquid latex, you let it dry, and you start adding some mud pack into it. Oh look, this one's completely untouched. And I think it's still wet. Yes. You can use this to, you know, tighten your pores and just put a mask on. Or you have dried liquid latex and you can sculpt a wound out of it, and then you lay another layer of liquid latex. And this is great because it kind of stays wet for a while, so as your top layer of liquid latex is drying, you can add texture into this while the liquid latex is drying too. So this is really cool. And this is cheap. You can get this from Sally's for like $5, this jar. And it's big. You can make some really cool stuff happen with this. So another thing for appliances I would recommend having is some foundations. Now I have a couple here. I think I'll talk about my foundation kit in another video, but I think today I'll just talk about the RCMA palettes. These are great to mix into silicone and latex and scar wax to make your silicone appliances match your client, as well as like lay a layer of foundation over your client's face to make the appliance match a little bit better. These are the two RCMA palettes. This one's the neutral, this one's the warm. These are great because they're some of the most pigmented cream foundations in the market, and a lot of makeup artists will use these in their kits as just like a foundation for bridal. They're just that good. But another thing that these are very helpful for is that, say you wanted to just transform somebody's face, right? You could, because these foundations have so many colors in them, you can really do some crazy contouring and shading on somebody's face. Say you wanted to, like, you know, Candy Johnson has a lot of videos in this stuff. You can use these colors to transform your face, say, into Megan Fox's face, or, you know, just somebody that looks totally unlike you, but you wanted to add shading in different ways to transform somebody's face. I would try to grab some of these RCMA foundation palettes. They're amazing for that. And also for, you know, coloring your appliance, your prosthetic appliances. Another thing you're absolutely going to need in your kit for your appliances is some translucent powder. I have the Ben Nye Neutral set right here, and I also have the RCMA No Color Translucent powder. I also have many others in my beauty kit, but you know, these are white, and these are excellent. This one's a little bit less hardcore. This one's just to cut down shine. But this one's a little bit more hardcore, and it just, like, if you're the most sweaty person in the world, you can lay this down and take away the sweat. These are especially essential for silicone appliances that can end up a little bit shiny. You're going to need to add a little bit of powder to take away the shine and make the whole prosthetic look a little bit more realistic, you know. So